Hey y'all, it's Kathy. How y'all doing? Um, Happy pandemic. How's everyone doing? Gosh, I'm not putting this on live because I want to be able to like post it everywhere, and Facebook gets like weird about putting it on YouTube and stuff. So I think I'm gonna do this and then put it on YouTube. But oh hi plus this. Hi, broken lamp that I need to get fixed. So, I've been held up in LA going on day 3. I had a toothache kind of take me out yesterday, which was really weird. And like, do you go to the dentist during a pandemic? Like, I don't know how that works. So, forgive me if I'm a little like, mealy with my talking, but I was sitting here like trying to think of something I could contribute in some kind of way because you just feel helpless, and obviously like not being around other people is doing a service. But I was like, what else can I offer? And obviously like, my sketch comedy group is talking about doing sketches and stuff via video, and I'm very excited about all that. I did plus this. They were actually really cool about cleaning everything, and I'll probably do that again next week. But I was just thinking, because this coronavirus really attacks the lungs, those of us who have pretty good lung capacity because we're singers could maybe spread the word about how to develop your deep breathing and have it just be like a thing that you do. And how do you build up the muscle groups in order to support those deep breaths that you want to take? So I'm gonna like turn into like Kathy voice teacher now. Do you like my sparkles, by the way? This is not I mean, yes, of course I want you guys to have sparkles in your life, but really this is because I haven't done laundry. I've been here for 3 days and like laundry has not been on the list of things to do. Don't want to do it. So I'll do it. I'll do it probably tonight, but now you get sparkles instead. So all right, I'm already 2 minutes in. If you're still watching this, that's amazing. I want to talk to you about the diaphragm. We hear a lot about a diaphragm breathing, and I, for the longest time, thought it was just that little space. It was just something that was right underneath our lungs, because they have the lungs and the diagram of diaphragms, and then they have this little thing that goes bloop 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 underneath them, and I always thought that's all the diaphragm was. But the diaphragm is actually an enormous muscle. It goes all the way around your body. People call it the tire of your body. It's like the muscle that's like a tire. And it is hella strong. It's like crazy strong. Every time you take a breath, this thing moves, right? It goes and does that like how many times? Like a million times a day. I don't even know. But it only does that in short capacity. It's not a long muscle unless you really work the length of the muscle. So basically it's like if you took 2-pound weights and we're like all day long, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay, now go over there and pick up that 350-pound weight. That's kind of what we're asking our body to do when we want to take a big deep diaphragm breath. Yoga obviously enhances this in classes too. Like people talk about that deep breath. So most of the time when, especially you talk to a little kid, and little kids do this all the time, like you say hold your breath, they go right, and actually what they're doing is lifting up their diaphragm as they do that. So when you move up your shoulders, you're letting the diaphragm muscle go up. So an exercise you can do is really like, and you can even make it a game with your kids if you have kids at home, really like isolate your shoulders and think about the small space underneath your belly button. And let it relax, like really relax. And women, we have to do this. You have to not hold in your gut. We have to do this. This is feminism. Let go of your abs. Gay men too, let go of your abs. So we're going to take a huge deep breath. And I didn't move my shoulders at all, but I took a really, really enormous deep breath. So like I said, this muscle goes all the way around your body. So we don't just use the release of that tiny bit of abdominal muscle to get our bellies, to get our diaphragms down. We can also use a bunch of muscle groups. One of them, if you have ever worn a corset and you might like want to go out and like wear a corset, like you might want to go, if you're in quarantine like me, just like go get a corset and put it on. I had many costumes in Wicked that had corsets, so I'm sure this is what helped develop those muscles. So when you take a deep breath and your diaphragm goes down, you also can sort of push gently against your rib cage and feel that holding. And that's what a corset does. And then really practice keeping your diaphragm down. So that means you're going to be talking with very little air. So you're not letting it go. You're not letting your air go up. Yeah. And, you know, vocal frying has done this to us. Like I'm doing right now. We vocal fry at the end of our phrases. And we don't support, when they say support, they mean keep your diaphragm down so you are talking on air, meaning you are not running out of air and letting your vocal cords rub together like that. You want air to go through your vocal cords just enough to make a sound, to touch tone. Yes? So that's a harder one for me. I mean, I think because I was in corsets so often, that helps me. But that's a group you can get in touch with. Also, and if you are like doing workouts and like, what muscle group should I use? You want to work on your lats in the back. So if you have your palms like this and your arms at your side and your shoulders, your elbows into your rib cage, and someone comes down and pushes down on your hands, without making this forearm work, you should be able to stop them with your lats. And that's another thing. If you take a big deep breath and then have someone do that, you should be able to be like, hello, I'm talking forever and I can talk forever, because your lats are engaged. You know, choir singers, you see like people like this, that's actually like people working their lats and holding their lats while they sing, so they have more breath. So, and you know, climb every mountain, you want to hold that so that your diaphragm's down. My diaphragm is crazy long, and I didn't realize this until I got some training on something called complete vocal technique at this college I work at, the BFA program. And we did all these like tests to see how our muscle groups were. And he's like, oh, your lats, you're like crazy strong. I was like, oh, am I? I've been keeping my diaphragm down for 2 decades, I guess. Maybe probably as long as I've been alive. Let's be honest. So when you see all these Italians, you know, singing on their balconies in videos, that's actually like really good. It's such a great thing to do. You know, we've been talking about like there was an expert on who was talking about like the old ladies in China, like they would have dance class and stuff and get them moving, and it was like really, really good for them. It wasn't just to keep their spirits up. It's like good to like get their bodies going and to really exercise. But singing also will do that. Like singing, you're working your diaphragm when you sing and hold out big breaths. There's a way you can test how much lung capacity you have. I kind of just snap a tempo. But if you feel like your tempo is not really great, if you don't like really keep time well, there are plenty of apps that have metronomes on them, and you can play a metronome and you breathe in for 4 counts. So it'd be, and then you as long as possible. The idea being you just filled up the balloon, your diaphragm, right? You let your diaphragm drop down, so it filled up this balloon of air with your lungs dropping, and the top of the balloon is open. So you want the tiniest bit of air coming out. So you do that and you count how long you can go, and 4 after just 4 counts of breathing. And the idea is that the next time you do it with just 2 counts of breathing in. So you do 1, so I inhale for 2. And then I count how long that is. And then you go down to just breathing in for 1 breath. 1 count. You breathe in for 1 count. I'm sorry. The teeth thing is still making me a little crazy. And also not being with people, and also watching 14 hours of SVU. Sorry, I was doing that. That's what I did. I'm trying to be productive today. I have like a call that I'm going on with like a bunch of fat activists later. So I'm trying to be more active. Anyway, my point is that if you do that and over time you measure it, which is why getting a metronome might be good, you can see your improvement. You can see how practicing that every day and really working your diaphragm and spending time taking big deep breaths without moving up your shoulders, letting everything just drop down, letting your belly, underneath your belly button go. I could really do that forever. I'm not gonna, that's really boring. And I should have had a time lapse, but I don't really know how to do that, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put this up. This video is already too long, but I just wanted to put it out there as like what I'm doing to try to like make a difference. So get your lung capacity up, y'all. If you use that diaphragm breathing, if you really get your lungs to take in more air and keep the liquid out of them, you'll have a much better time with pneumonia if you do catch it. Listen, it looks like 4 to 7 out of 10 of us are going to get this thing, and not all of us are going to be like hunky-dory. Not all of us are going to be like, oh, I have a sniffle. Like, it seems like it's going to kick some of our behinds. So practice with your kids, practice with yourself. If you want to sing, Skyping works. Like, go find a voice teacher that can take you on as a student right now. This is like a great time while we're all just sitting around to make our own dreams come true. I'm going to be talking more about that with my Plus This show. That's what that is. Plus This. Oh, old poster. But thanks for spending time even watching this, and I hope you guys get your diaphragms down so you can sing forever. Happy pandemic.